What's up, guys? I'm just going to play the intro real quick, make sure the sound works. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you can't put a 1 in the chat, if you can hear me all right. Jennifer, I'll let you know. I'm behind on my... I have not checked my email today. I have been so busy catching up with things. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Yeah, I had to celebrate my birthday yesterday, so we just did a little birthday stream, kind of shared some thoughts on the Delphi case and stuff, and the entire time, had no idea that Dog the Bounty Hunter was in town, which is crazy. So, I knew, thank you guys so much for putting a 1 in the chat. I'll get, if I do, I'll reply to it after this show. Thank you, Jennifer. And there's Nick Snyder, right on. So anyway, so apparently he's been in town for a little bit. We'll get into that. But first off, let's get into the missing, and then we'll get into the updates. But it looks like they ID'd a suspect, finally, in the Newlywed Couple's double homicide, which is great news. So let's start off with the missing here. So I've shown her a couple times. Apparently there was an update a couple days ago. This is Roberta Bobby Braden. They have a silver alert off in Tempe, Arizona. Apparently she was last seen, somebody had bought her a meal at McDonald's on May 8th. So that was, 3 days ago. So that's good news because she's been missing for, I think, like a week now. So that's great that she's been spotted since then. They feel she has Alzheimer's, so they feel like she's just been kind of wandering around, not knowing that she's lost. And they bumped up the reward substantially. It was 5,000 just the other day. So now it's up to 25,000. So anybody in Arizona, keep an eye out for her. Apparently, the last time she was seen was McDonald's. So I think that's good news. And then, so here's just a little more on that. So this was, they just posted this like about an hour ago, but this was just kind of detailing that somebody had seen her on the security tape at McDonald's, someone buying her a meal. So that's awesome. Thank you for the late birthday wishes, everybody. And then one more, I've been showing her as well. This is Kennedy Marie Diamond, 15 years old. This is in Mesa, Arizona as well. So 2 from Arizona. It's apparently Dobson Road and Guadalupe Road, which is in Mesa. And she was last seen on the 7th of May, so that was 4 days ago. Apparently she has depression and anxiety, and it might be a possible runaway. So, all right, with that, we will move on to the big story. So, for those that are not familiar with the case, these 2 girls sadly were found murdered. They went on a camping trip on August 13th, I believe on the 12th, actually, on August 12th. Then did not show up to work the next following days. And so a friend that was worried about him went up and knew kind of in the area that they went last camping. And so she went to go look for him. And sadly, she found their bodies on August 18th last year, 2021. And notified law enforcement. Thank you, Shay, for becoming a member. Thank you so much. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up here. Brady, I live right by there. Oh, do you live in Moab or close to Moab? That's awesome. Yeah, I've got quite a few viewers from Utah or in Utah. That's awesome. So sadly they found the girls. They were apparently shot multiple times. It's a tragic death, double homicide. And it kind of got overshadowed with the Gabby Petito case. But then it was brought to light, kind of thanks to the Gabby Petito case, because since they were in Moab, Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, and then with the death or the murder of Gabby Petito, once they realized that they were in Moab, and then these girls had gone missing in the same time frame, People started thinking that Brian Laundrie might have been a serial killer and that he was involved, but that has since all been debunked. And so now, Dog the Bounty Hunter, he was actually supposed to come out in December. There was talk that he was gonna. He was actually talking with Paul Schulte, the father of Crystal, or the father of Kylen, I believe, and he was actually supposed to come out in December, but I guess for some reason he didn't go out. I don't know, maybe medical condition or something else. He had just been married, so maybe he was taking some time off since the Brian Laundrie case. So apparently he's back in town. I completely missed it. I did like a birthday stream yesterday, so I wasn't really checking the news. But so right now, he did a press conference yesterday, and we'll watch that because he actually revealed some interesting information. But what's interesting is he came, I think he's been in town for a while, but they did the press thing yesterday. And then today is when they released that they have ID'd a suspect. And let me back out here. I have a picture. I don't know why it wouldn't let me. Oh, because it's a PNG file. Oh, that's why. Okay, let me pull it up. All right, so there's this lovely guy here. So this is Adam. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. I'm just going to say Adam P. I'll show you his last name here in just a second. Let me minimize that so I'm not blocking it. So this is Adam. Apparently, this is the creepy guy that the girls described. And yes, he was a co-worker who worked at McDonald's. Thank you, J Moon. And it fits with the description that we kind of heard floating around. The guy apparently had like a beard. I remember hearing that. But apparently he killed himself. So we'll check out the news and see the latest report here. And yeah, Jonathan, I know some people love him or hate him. Jonathan Lee Riches was out there in December, I think, around that time, investigating. Or it might have been early January. So let's just take a look at the latest article. So it says, Kylen and Crystal case, suspect ID'd in double homicide of newlywed Moab couple. The man allegedly told someone he had killed 2 women in Utah and provided specific details of the crime only known to investigators, authorities said. So that's kind of why they're pretty sure that they got the right guy. Is that obviously he described details that has not been released to the public. And that's why they try not, obviously that's why they, in most cases, they try not to release too much information for this specific reason. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. But yeah, apparently he worked at McDonald's, so we're going to get into that. So the Grand County Sheriff's Office identified a suspect Wednesday in the slaying of Kylen and Crystal, the newlywed couple who was fatally shot near the campsite in the Sal Mountains, outside of Moab. Now, this says August 18th, but that's when their bodies were found. They were shot. They say the murder happened on the 13th, Friday the 13th. Their bodies were actually found on the 18th, so that's kind of off a little bit. Oh, well, actually, I guess that's true, because it says that's where they were found, when they were found. So I guess that is true. But they were murdered on the 13th. So the suspect, Adam Pink, I'm gonna butcher that, so we'll just say Adam P, was a former employee at the McDonald's in Moab where Turner worked. Investigators said in a news release. Miss Adam P was originally one of the many people identified as a person of interest in the case, but he left Utah shortly after the homicide and later died by self-inflicted. Officials recently received information that prior to his death, Adam had told someone that he had killed 2 women in Utah. He also divulged specific details that were only known to the case, or only known to investigators. The Grand County Sheriff's Office is now processing critical and newly discovered evidence in the case, including Adam P's vehicle Anyone with information about this man or the case may contact this number here. So they're still looking for information, probably to build a timeline of what happened. So, an attempt to reach an aunt of Schulte after Wednesday's announcement was not immediately returned. Okay. 9 months. So, yeah, 9 months of investigation. So, yeah, they were married. They were living near the campgrounds in Moab where they worked in town. So, they were kind of doing the van life. They'd work in town and then they were kind of going out. They were kind of doing the same thing that, Gabby and Brian were doing. They were reported missing on August 16th, and after they didn't show up for work, a friend of Schulte found the couple dead a couple days later in South Mesa. In September, court documents revealed that Schulte had told friends that there was the creepy man around their camp, and they were intimidated by them. So what's sad is they were actually seen at the bar, and I've got it plopped up right here. Let me push this over. So they went to the bar on, this was August 12th? Is it the 12th or the 13th? I think it was August 12th. And they were last seen at the bar. And they'd actually been camping there at the campgrounds. Let me back this out a little bit. In La Salle, in this area here. And so they came back and went to the tavern and talked about seeing this guy, and that's where we learned about the creepy guys, because they talked about the creepy guy at the bar to their friends. And what was sad is they said, if something happens to us, we were murdered, which was really sad because it actually happened. So they left the tavern and went back to apparently their campground, and sadly that was the last time they were seen. They actually stopped at a friend's house after they left the tavern for a moment to visit friends, but then eventually went to the campground and sadly was shot. So just looking at a different article here. So here's just to look at Adam P. So what we know about the suspect, so he was a former employee of McDonald's where one of the victims worked, apparently a disgruntled worker, which Jonathan Lee Riches went out there. I can't remember exactly the time. I want to say it was either December or January, but he came across some information about this supposed disgruntled worker. So yeah, he was one of the many persons of interest that they were looking into. They determined that he was in the Sal Mountains. So they apparently came out with an article here. Let me pull it up. This was nope, not this one. Let me zoom this in here. So this was released. So Grant County Sheriff's Office has identified Adam Pink as a suspect in the double homicide of Crystal and Kylen. Adam was a former employee at the McDonald's that Crystal worked at, located in Moab. Adam was identified at the time as one of the many persons of interest being investigated. The Grant County Sheriff's Office made numerous attempts to locate and interview Adam, but obviously now we learned he has committed, I can't say the word, self-inflicted wound. Through continued analysis and collection of evidence, Grant County Sheriff's Office learned that Adam P. was in the Sal Mountains and Moab at the time of the homicides, and had left the state of Utah shortly after the homicides, and then later committed self-inflicted. Grant County Sheriff's Office conducted numerous interviews, recently received information that prior to self-inflicting, Adam P. told another party that he had killed 2 women. So although Adam P. has been identified as a suspect, this is a still ongoing investigation and the case is not closed. Grant County Sheriff's Office continues to process critical and newly discovered evidence in the case, including processing Adam P.'s vehicle that was recently located and seized. Grant County Sheriff's Office is looking for any information regarding Adam or his vehicle. So apparently he has a 2007 Yaris. It's black. It looks like it's black. And requesting any information from anyone to contact the Grant County Sheriff's Office. So they're asking if anybody has seen this car. It's a 2007 Yaris. This was Adam P. It's a vehicle. So if you have any information, you are to call this number here. So, like I said, so apparently Dog the Bounty Hunter came into town, and what I'm still trying to figure out is if he was kind of late to the party or he helped in this in some way. So I'm not sure. But there is an interview with him, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to play that. It's about 20 minutes, but we'll just play the parts that, because some of it they kind of don't discuss much in the beginning. So I'm going to put this full screen. But they do talk about some evidence that I've never heard of. I haven't heard the whole thing because I've been trying to just catch up on all the articles and stuff. But it seems like the Dog starts talking about some evidence that I have, some things that I've never heard of before. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Ben Fox. I think Dog was late to the party. Because this happened, so this press conference happened yesterday. So it's just kind of, well, it's not funny, but it's kind of interesting that. But he talks about how they've been doing investigation work for at least a while now. So they may have helped, but there's nothing that talks about that. So I'm going to play it. Sadly, when it comes to these press conferences they've been doing, the volume is terrible. And I've looked for other sources. I can't find any. If you guys have one that's a better source. It's not bad, but it's not like... it's kind of soft. So there is closed captions, so I will kick those on.
Is that right, Nick?
No, actually. I was the overnight media manager.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't think they realize. I think these people need to realize that they need to kind of test their audio equipment, because it seems like the last 4 or 5 press conferences that we've had have all been like super soft.
Whose idea was that? You and everybody.
Things you found, uncovered, discovered?
Yes. So we started about 24 hours ago. Let me introduce the panel. Sean.
Okay, so he said they started 24 hours ago. So if yesterday's the 10th, so I guess they got in there on the 9th or maybe like the 8th. Yeah, apparently he took his life, deja vu. Yeah. So I'm sorry, I've got the subtitle or the captions on, but they're even small.
Father of one of the girls, one of my investigators, ex law enforcement, Billy. This is ex law enforcement downtown Bobby Brown. And our girls team, we have the wife of Billy, who is a private eye. We have Francie, who is my wife. We got married in September. And we have Katie. When SWAT goes in a house, they always have a minister with them. I didn't know this till last year. But that minister is trained just like all the other SWAT people. So that's Katie's place in our team.
Okay, I'm going to skip forward just a little bit. He's just describing everybody on the panel.
Visit the scene of the crime. We have talked to, there were 17 possible subjects. We've talked to a lot of them. We've got it down to about 5.
Yeah, another coward that took their own life. I agree.
Coming up soon on the 19th in 2006. So when I ask Sean Paul, the father, questions, I have to watch how I ask, because I've been through something similar. Lost
Yes,
a lot,
Alexa.
and died in a car accident. His was murdered.
Yep.
So this is one of the most 43 years experience doing this, being a bounty hunter on law enforcement. Horrendous killings, double homicides I've ever seen. Both girls were shot 3 times apiece.
So yeah, Maverick brings up a good question. You're not guilty until dead men can't talk. You do bring up a great point for sure. But I think if he did divulge information that is not known to the public, I mean I don't think they would come out. They've been pretty quiet. I had heard that they had narrowed down the suspects because we were actually going to go, me and Tony from All American Dream Chaser, we were actually going to go to Moab. And then he talked to actually Schulte, which is the guy over here, the father. And he actually sent Tony a text saying, no, you guys are kind of wasting your time. There's new developments, but I can't talk about it. So I kind of known that there had been something going on behind the scenes. And I thought it was kind of interesting that it was really quiet this last couple months. So I think they were just kind of narrowing down everything and kind of verifying. And they also released that they had found other video footage. So I think they've got video footage of like probably his car, like Adam Pink's car. And there can only be so many people up in the Sal Mountains, so it kind of narrows down your suspect list quite drastically when you see, one of your person of interest vehicles up in the area. I mean, that's just speculation, of course, but they did release that they had video evidence.
And then 3 times more. Then their bodies were drugged head first.
Okay, so this is kind of some information we hadn't heard before. For those who can't hear it, I'm going to just play a little bit and then pause it because this is some information that hasn't been really released. He's talking about what happened to the bodies after he shot them. So apparently he's talking about how he dragged the bodies. But yeah, I'm all for that too, Maverick. I get it. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we can't say he's, until they're proven in court. I totally understand that. But I think they've definitely, gone through. Clearly they've had, if they got 17 suspects, clearly they're going to make sure they've got, the right details in place. Okay, so I'm going to play this little by little for those that can't hear this. Even the captions are all tiny.
Down to a creek, and it was raining, and I think the killer thought the rain could have rose and the creek went down. I don't think so. Once I got there, they drug the bodies down, or he did, or she did, to get them out of the way. Reading it from the outside on the internet, looking at the articles, I also thought, like a lot of people here thought, this was a random camper gone crazy. He's not from the area. She's not from the area. Now, during our investigation, the murderer had to know them. When you shoot someone 6 times apiece, that is worse than any hate crime.
See, and I think that's new too. 6 times a piece. I don't think I've heard. We've heard multiple gunshot wounds to each girl, but 6 times each is quite specific, and that's, as far as I know, that's a new detail I've never heard.
They didn't slap somebody and make them mad. Because of their marriage, they didn't make someone mad enough to gun them down and kill them and slaughter them is the word. You wouldn't believe it. Usually the only thing that drives someone to kill like that is love. We're checking all those angles. Where the girls were camped, there's a person that comes by every once in a while and takes down license plates. We've heard that the guy or the girl was camped right next to the girls. We're checking that out. We know it's a 9mm pistol, 2 different kind of ammunition in the same gun. We're almost positive.
I know.
One gun.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Whispers. I tried to look. There's nothing else. If I would have had time, I would have recorded it and then bumped it up. But yeah, I something with these press conferences. We've talked about this in my last few lives. All these press conferences have been coming out. It's like they need to kind of test their audio because they're all so low. And I've got, like I said, I've got it cranked up. So I apologize. Like I said, I got the captions, but they got the tiniest captions I could ever have. But really, he's just talking about. Apparently, they were shot 6 times. Brian just said he said 3, and now it's 6. I'll have to go back and look at this. I haven't really fully watched this yet.
Billy, take it. Anything else as we're talking about what we found?
I think the gun's really important. The 9mm, the type of ammunition that could have possibly been used, combination of hollow points and round ball, full metal jacket rounds.
Okay, so he said they found full metal jacket rounds and round ball. 2 different types of, I guess, spent shell casings is what he's saying. It is, yeah. It's just okay. You turned your speakers up, okay.
Pretty unique in a combination and like one shooting by itself. I think everything is pointing that the evidence would lead us to believe that there was one shooter. Could they be more? Yes. We just haven't found information that would lead us to believe that yet. There's a lot of information that still needs to be substantiated and we need to look into. I think we're in the process of eliminating possibilities at this point and getting down to a hardcore number of good possible scenarios and people in the scenarios.
Okay, he's really not saying anything important. So he's just, yeah, nothing important there.
We, not just to say this because I'm right over in Colorado, what a beautiful city, what a beautiful state. Everybody besides the scenery has been absolutely perfect.
Oh, is it 3 times each? Okay.
You're here for the 20 grand. I said, you know what? We're putting in 10. So how's that? You hear me? Francie is out of her.
Yeah, that's probably what he meant to say. 6 total, 3 and 3, maybe. Hey, I could see how you could confuse that. Yeah, I'm sorry, Tina. This is cranked up. I've looked at the 2. There's 2 out there. They're both low. I can't help it. I'm trying to explain what they're talking about. So, like I said, I'm just gonna play a little bit of time and then. Yeah, dog you can actually hear, but the other guys, yeah, like I said, I don't know. They really need to. Like I said, check their settings before they do these press conferences.
Wanted store. So there you go for that. And there's a lot more that I can't tell you about. Whoever calls 833-TELL-DOG, we got to get that out there, is going to get a large amount of cash. Large. This ain't Crime Stoppers. You're going to get paid cash. Right, Bobby Brown? That's why they call him Downtown Bobby Brown. You want to add something so they know you can speak?
So right now they're talking about the reward, but I think it's kind of ironic that this, like I said, this was yesterday. So I don't know if anybody can get the reward since now they've ID'd the suspect. Unless maybe somebody can help information with the car. I don't know.
I think one of the most important things that we've narrowed down is that, and this isn't going to help you a lot, but it is, I think we agree that it's definitely one person. And that one person, you will be able to decide because before we're done, obviously, is either male or a female. And to be totally honest right now, we have not made that decision in our minds, whether it was male or female.
Okay, so the only thing he said is that they were sure that it's one person. So at this time, this is yesterday, They didn't know if it was male or female, so I don't think they knew about the information that Grant County Sheriff's Office had. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Candy. Like I said, we've just been talking about this. Is probably one of the worst ones they've had in a while.
On a lot of tips that have came in. These ladies are working constantly on, in several different areas and tremendous help. And, the tips are very important. You know, that's how these cases get solved is, you know, that, we put a tremendous amount of faith in everybody that takes the time to, you know, reach out to help solve the murder of this poor man's daughter and her wife. And so, that's very important, you know, we just, you know, we work with our hearts and our brains, and it's all very important. We thank you all for being here. We need to get this out, and the more that it gets out.
Okay, I'm gonna skip him forward. He's not really
that, it's
talking about anything
And the
important.
more we get information out to the public, of course the killer's gonna hear it. The more information we get back. Take the latest fugitive, the two whites.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a very good point, Nika. Wouldn't Crystal have said the creepy man works at McDonald's? See, I've kind of wondered. That's a good point. Unless, well, see, that's the thing is I swear they'd seen him during the day. So, you know, but it could have been two different interactions too. There could have been a creepy man, and then he left, and then this disgruntled guy came and murdered him. And so it's just been we looking at this creepy man, but it was never really the creepy man. Yes, he creeped him out. I mean, that's just a suggestion or theory, but okay, yeah, Footwitch. Yeah, I'm late on my emails, but I'll definitely load it up and do a future for you.
The sergeant and the criminal. The marshals pulled him over. She shot herself. He was getting ready to come out shooting. Some guy that looked like he belonged to ZZ Top's band happened to walk up and see him in the car. He called the feds. I just seen the guy. The feds got on him. None of us have crystal balls. We need the public's help. Someone, like Bobby says, knows exactly what happened. There was a gun in the drawer. It's not there anymore. The husband, the brother, the wife, the sister went somewhere that night. There's no explanation. Because the girls were drugged down a ledge, there is blood on the clothes of whoever did it. You can't get rid of, can you get rid of blood now, Billy, with bleach?
You might look like you can, but it's still there, so.
So there's a lot of things that are popping up, different information. We've probably...
So Miss Kelly brings up a good question. What is the forensic evidence here? They're not just going by confession from a friend, right? So I think it's a combination of, maybe ballistics, but I think more importantly, video evidence, because they did release that they had video evidence that they had not released to the public. And I think that probably would show maybe his vehicle, the Adam P's vehicle. I would be my assumption.
Probably got a lot of the same leads the police department has. But let me tell you about that, okay? Dog, why are you here when the cops are here? You get a police scanner here and listen to how many calls they get a day here? Dear Lord. Cops working an investigation on a murder, and he gets a domestic violence call where the husband's got the wife choking her against the wall. What does the cop do? Heads for the domestic violence call. This is why in America, if you defund the police, you're refunding the criminal. What are you doing? Taking away their money? Well, there goes their job. They are so understaffed here. That's why we're here. That's not a new thing. It's happened since the beginning of time. It used to be called vigilantes. Now it's called private eyes and bounty hunters. And we're going to help them find it and find the person that killed these girls. I don't think it's from somebody from, well, I can't say any other state because they'll get mad at me. We can't say it's somebody from Russia and was driving through because it's a local that did it. They had to know these girls. Go ahead.
And I would just like to say two things that are very important. I've been working in homicide for a long time, working on cold cases for a long time. And there's two things that happen. Number one, there is no such thing as a perfect murder. Number two,
Interesting.
there's not a homicide that's ever been committed that the perpetrator has not. When they
So Snell says, I gotta read this out. Crystal never worked any shifts with him. Adam saw Crystal making burgers for her and Kylen, and he thought they were getting preferential treatment. He also argued with another lesbian couple. Yeah, I heard he had something, I believe, something against that kind of community, I believe.
They leave some evidence and they take some evidence with them.
Ah.
And that's what.
So he
one
finishes.
thing
Let me
that I
finish
want.
this. Sorry, guys. Because yeah, I've heard some of this. So it was said that he thought that the lesbians who worked there got preferential treatment. Interesting. So it's kind of a little bit of jealousy, and probably just not right in the head anyway. But so anyway, back to Bobby Brown, who apparently doesn't realize that he's not mic'd up and just talking so soft.
Everybody out there.
So I'm gonna skip him because
is because those
he's not really.
exist.
I chased a guy last year, $3 million bond out of Hawaii. Caught him in California, Anaheim. Missed him by 2 minutes at a time sometimes. He called me and he goes, you missed me, dog. I said, you know what? I'm going to probably make 40 mistakes, but all you got to do is make one. He made the mistake, wham, we got him. There are so many mistakes made in this homicide slaughter. Right across the street, guess what? Probably the police already know this. There's a wedding going on. No one's heard the video because we are getting it. They hear the shots. Get this. What do you call it up in the air? There's a drone in the air shooting the wedding thing. We're going to look at that. We may have a picture of the car. We're going to know if it was 12 shots.
Oh wait, hold on. This is
What do
interesting.
you call it up in the air?
Wait, hold on.
40 mistakes, but all you got to do is make one. He made the mistake, wham, we got him. There are so many mistakes made in this homicide slaughter. Right across the street, guess what? Probably the police already know this. There's a wedding going on. No one's heard the video because we are getting it. They hear the shots. Get this. What do you call it up in the air? There's a drone in the air shooting the wedding thing. We're going to look at that. We may have a picture of the car.
Oh, wow.
We're going to know if it was 12 shots in a row or if he shot 6 times, dropped the clip, and shot 6 more.
Okay,
That's
so
gonna
he's
tell us
he's
a
saying
lot
6
about
and 6, so he didn't mess up. He's saying 6 and 6 right now. I like I said, I cannot confirm or that stuff, but he's saying that because what was going on was there was a wedding. Let me minimize this real quick. Oop, can I minimize this? Let me just show you guys. So the girls were camping. Oh my gosh, what did I just do? What the hell did I do? Okay, I don't know what. Okay, anyway. So they were camping literally right here. This is the spot. As a matter of fact, their bodies were dragged right here into this. This is a little river right here. So they were camping right here, and apparently, one of the bodies was seen. I think just outside the creek, and then one was dragged in. They might have both been in there, but I think when the friend came, she walked up and saw the first body. I notified the police. So here's the area. Now there is a little place where you can, what's called Whispering Oaks Ranch right here. We've got these little cabins that you can stay, and apparently they were having a wedding that weekend because Friday, August the 13th was Friday the 13th, so it was the weekend. There was a wedding going on, and we learned that this actually happened not during the late hours or early morning. It actually happened around noon, apparently. So, so apparently there's a wedding going on somewhere around in this area, and apparently they had a drone flying up, is what Dog is saying, and then of course there was people that heard apparently gunshots. And so I think it was from these people in this area here. And so he's saying that there was a drone flying. And so it could have caught, the suspect leaving. If he went back, let's see, to get back. Yeah, I think to get back in town, you have to go back this way. I mean, trying to look here. Yeah, because this just takes you deeper. Into no man's land here. There might be a way. I mean, it would be. I don't know. This road ends right here. So, yeah. Unless he went north. I mean, you could go north, but it just takes you deeper into more mountains. So he would have had to pass by this place. So this is kind of like almost like a one way in, one way out kind of deal. I mean, yes, you could go north, but like I said, it's just taking you deeper into the mountains. So I think, he would have done it, shot the girls. Obviously would have had to lead back this way. And if there was cameras, the car would have been seen coming back down the LaSalle Road. So I think my theory would be that's what happened. So, for those just tuning in, we're looking at Dog the Bounty Hunter's interview. For me, I'm starting to get the idea that he was a day late and $1 short. But I don't know. He might have helped in the investigation. I don't know.
Did it. There are some things coming out. This guy who did it made a terrible mistake. He did it in daylight. Someone heard or seen something. So just like the guy from ZZ Top's, 833 tell dog. I don't need your social security number. I don't need your name. I don't need your date of birth. I don't even need your phone number. Make up a name. I don't have to make any kind of report at all. That I don't have to do that like most police officers do. Drop a dime. Tell us what's going on. We'll take care of the arrest. Sean Paul, you want to say something, brother?
I just want to say that God bless Dog and the Essentials. Thank you for answering my prayers. Thank you, Dog. When you told me 6 months ago you were coming, I believed you. You've given me hope.
Thank you.
You guys have helped me
So this is the father
heal,
of Kylen.
which I didn't expect to happen until after this SOB was.
And like I said, Dog, after he was done with Brian Laundrie, he was actually supposed to come up to Moab earlier, but then, I don't know, something happened. And, I don't know if it was just because they were supposed to have, because he had just been married, but he went right into work. So I don't know why, but something delayed Dog. But now, so he shows up 2 days ago, but from what I'm kind of understanding here is he's kind of like a day late, $1 short here, because they have not mentioned anything that he's provided. But looks like Snell's got a lot of information. I'm sorry, I can't do. Trying to read your comments here.
Thanks for answering my prayers. Thanks for coming. Now, let's get to work.
So do we have any questions?
I have one other, Dog. Are you coordinating at all with the Grand County Sheriff's Office, and do you think you're getting tips that they're not or haven't?
Well, let's take Brian Laundrie. We got over 5,000 tips. Don't, how, 6,000, right? 6,000. How many feds get? 340? When the sheriff comes to me and says, dog, give me all your info, you have the right to remain silent, you get it. But no one said, what do you got? Because we don't have anything yet. I've done it 40 years. I know the steps of command, what to do, okay? I know where to go. I know who Big Brother is. So far, no, because we don't have nothing probably that they don't have. But again, we can work Sundays, Saturdays, 24 hours a day. You know, they can, by law, work so many hours a day. And then another case comes in, they got to switch over to that. We stay on it till we catch them or we get the person.
That was my other question. How long do you plan to be here in Moab,
A
Grand
few-
County area?
Sorry, a few days, and then we may take a part two. I hope take two. We don't have that. But that line is everywhere we go. It's not a tapped line. Excuse me.
So he said he's only here for a couple days, but I'm getting the feeling that he was here just a day late and $1 short. Let's see.
It's a little hard for him to stay with it all day. There's not even too many cops left because they cut all the funding. So we can stay on it and stay on it till we get results.
I have a question about
Yes.
the handling of the case. From your
Yeah, thanks, Snell, for all the info. Sorry, I just thought I'd check out this interview.
I think that they're sheriffs. They do what they do. They can only do so much. I can do a lot more. I can lie and not get sued. So I don't know. I haven't, excuse me, read any police reports or looked at that yet. But it's
So anyway, so that's that interview. There's about 10 more minutes there, but since it's so hard to hear, I'm not gonna play more of that. Let's look at the sun real quick. Looks like Snell's got a lot of inside information. I was working on some other stuff, so I didn't really this is kind of news to me. Earlier today, let's see. So, all right, let's see, because usually the sun's always got something interesting. I know sometimes the sun is not always reliable, but sometimes they have some. It's hit and miss. Uh, 38. The couple's average. So, this is interesting. I'm going to read this because this talks about dog on the case. So I wonder if this talks about if he had anything to help with it. So it was revealed this week that TV star Dog was in Moab looking for clues. He's been spending time with the father. God bless him for coming out. I hope he can shake the tree and a rotten apple falls out. It's unclear on Wednesday what role. So it says it was unclear on Wednesday what role, if any, Dog had in the sheriff's office efforts to locate the suspect. So it's looking like he may have just been late to the party when it comes to Dog. But nevertheless, it's good that they've got this guy. If this is it. Snell, do you have any links to some of this stuff that you're sharing? Yeah, I believe so too. Candy. Let's see. I'm just checking the comments real quick. All right, so we've got two different conversations talking about shelters. So Snell says that apparently this guy offed himself on the 18th, which is kind of when they were found. I cannot confirm that, but that's what Snell has apparently got some inside information. That's a good question, but if the drone footage shows him, wouldn't that make it impossible to blame Brian Laundrie? Yeah, but we didn't know about... Yeah. Did Dog Bounty Hunter have a Netflix show? He was trying to set up something during the Brian Laundrie case, but then he had a lawsuit or something like that as well. Yeah, I mean, he just mentions drone footage. I mean, obviously we don't know. He's just saying that he's just mentioning that they flew a drone. Apparently, they were catching the wedding, so they were flying a drone. But the law enforcement did release saying, I mean, that was released way back when. I even did my video, and they talked about saying that they had actual video footage of that day, but they couldn't release any more details about it. But yes, now if you have any links, let me know. Let me just see anything more about this. Oops. I can't type on this new keyboard. Okay, so let's see. This just came out. I'm just kind of proofreading it real quick here. Let's see if there's anything new here. That looks like a different interview. Those are in a different location. Oh, so this is interesting. Okay, so the sheriff did not disclose the details or any other aspects of the investigation beyond the fact that the forensic experts are now coming over the suspect's 2007 Yaris. An amateur crime sleuth nicknamed Blowhorn Betty. So I'm sure most of you guys know Blowhorn Betty. She's the one that was out there next to JLR in front of the Brian Laundrie's house. Every day. So it says she interviews workers at the Moab McDonald's in November, and one of the employees named Adam Pink as someone as they suspected could be the killer. They described him as a homeless former worker who had gotten into a fight with another lesbian couple and was bad news. They said he had failed to pick up his last check after the killings. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, he didn't pick up his last paycheck. Yeah, so that's definitely suspicious. Let's see. Okay, this has nothing to do with him. So here's what everybody's talking about. It's funny because I did a video about this. So here's my video that I did.
I'm Chris. I've got a big...
I think I did this in January, maybe December. I think it was January. So there's my baby beef lane.
I saw this tweet go out by Mr. Riches, and it says, "We spoke with a creepy, suspicious guy who claims he saw Kylen Schulte and Crystal Turner at Woody's Tavern on the night of August 13th. Then he said he was up on the mountain camping by them and heard gunshots around 1 a.m. He claims Grand County Sheriff never spoken with him. So others that were suspicious of him down in Moab directed Mr. Riches to go talk to this guy.
What's going on, Cotton Farmer?
So he put out another tweet saying he has turned all this info into the proper channels. But this could be huge considering others that were suspicious of him.
Independent groups I mean, I can look into it, but I mean, I kind of, we have the Humane Society like right next to us. Like we kind of know the people that work there and know where that money is going into. So it's not like it's just blindly sending it to money. I know where that money is going to help those animals because I've seen it firsthand. I've seen that building grow. They've built on new buildings for that. So that's yeah. I know it's going to good causes. I'm not against independent stuff, and I would be happy to look into something. I do, later on in the coming months, gonna ask, like, do a poll and see where people would like, the donations to go to. So it's not always going to go to one place, but the reason I've done this is the donations because they match, and sometimes they triple match that. So I can't beat that. But I don't think that's something to get overly excited about.
And whether you like Mr. Riches or not, he has been out there with American Law 411 and the
So this
crew,
is Blowhorn Betty
who
right
all of
here.
them have been
So this is interesting. They apparently kind of cracked, love him or hate him, because I know they're kind of, they've been they're with the Summer Wells case, they've just totally made it completely toxic, and so I've not really cared for, especially JLR. Blowhorn Betty, take it or leave her. But yeah, they were out there and pounding the pavement, and apparently they came across this guy, this information long ago about this, apparently this Adam guy.
in the pavement, so to speak, talking to everyone, including this guy.
And this is
in front
the
of
actual
Moonflower
McDonald's.
Co-op.
Oops.
And
So this was the McDonald's apparently this guy Adam worked at right here in Moab, and then you've got an employee that's apparently did a nice little scrapbook memorial for the girls.
guy in front of the Moonflower Co-op, and American Law 411 was talking to other van lifers. So I've been paying close attention to their tweets because they were the ones that got that exclusive interview with Cassie Laundrie, which really helped add some info to Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito's timeline. So I also wanted to play this from Riches.
So here is Whispering Oaks Ranch. This is probably an eighth of a mile away from where Kylen and Crystal were found dead. And around the 14th of August, there was a wedding here. By Devin and Kyle. They're from Salt Lake City. They had a wedding here. They invited their friends and family to come attend this wedding. The rehearsal was in...
So, we're kind of getting a little off topic here. Maybe you can donate to hospice. They're really a lifesaver when it comes to mom. I mean, I wish I could donate to... There's so many things I would love to donate. I am just one person, and I can only do so much. But I'm at least giving back some of my money to something where, there's a lot of other YouTubers that just take that in. That's nothing against them. But I at least try to give back as much as I can. I try to help out with the missing. I give back in so many ways. That's what I was going to do with this platform. And there will be months coming up where I will do a poll and ask people where should we send it next. But right now, because I know the Humane Society and I've seen where it goes, that I know it's going to a good thing. And like I said, I feel like I'm helping out people with the missing and doing cold cases and stuff. So that's why I feel like donating to charities like Humane Society to help out animals. So I'm trying to help out as many people and animals as I can.
In the morning of the 14th, the actual reception was at the end of the day. But cabins here. Did someone from Whispering Oaks Ranch hear the gunshots of the murder? Or did anyone see anything? And that's the question. Does anyone that attended this wedding have footage of anyone along this LaSalle Road, this trail that takes you all the way up to this area? Does anyone have any footage of any vehicles or any individuals? That's the question. Somebody that attended that wedding that day on the 14th must have seen something or known something.
So along with guests and other
So anyway, so yeah, they were out there and they kind of cracked this. Thank you guys. I appreciate the support. Yeah, like I said, I'm one person. I cannot. If I went and asked everybody, everybody's gonna have a completely different idea where to send the money, and it would be just a nightmare. Like I said, I'll do a poll. But like I said, I know where the money is going. And that's what matters. And you know, I try to do as much as I can. And that's, like I said, I'm just one person. I can only do so much. Caroline says, I am studying to be a vet tech nurse, and this is for the critters. Thank you, Caroline. And yes, we will be doing another donation night here coming soon. I'm just waiting for another notification for when they're going to do another donation, matching, like 2 times or 3 times, because last time we donated, they matched it up to 3 times. So, you know, you can't beat that. And how that works is what they do is they'll have like a company, you know, that's matching it. And so what they do is on their Facebook is it's like, oh, hey, this company's met, you know, 2 times or 3 times. And so that's, for them, it's like an advertisement for the company. So it's kind of like, you know, they're getting their money's worth. So they're kind of like paying for advertisement. That's kind of like why they're matching it, because, you know, Humane Society puts out on like their Facebook or wherever, and or on their website. And so, like I said, it's kind of like an advertisement for the company. And so, and then that's how they're like paying for the advertisement. So, it's a pretty, you know, it's a good, way to get back. Is this guy related to killing Abby and Livy? Kind of looks like the guy. I know people have been saying that when I first saw that. Yeah, this guy. I doubt it. That it was him. Especially, you got to think the girls. Well, we don't know for sure, but the girls weren't shot. It was most likely. They kind of gave it up, but they said Steve's Beer Fund is in great need of. There you go, Steve's Beer Fund. Yeah, we'll see. We'll put that on the next poll. But Bridge Guy. Well, you know, if you go off what they say, blue eyes, no blue eyes, then I guess he wouldn't be Bridge Guy. Because it looks like maybe Hazel, but it looks like blue eyes to me. But so yeah, I think that's about it. I just wanted to go live to share the good news that they've got. You know, sadly, it's not the best news because they're not getting the full justice they deserve. This guy took the coward's way out. I'm gonna have to check this. So this was posted. Hours before they released. So I really think this is so odd because they showed up like a day or 2 before law enforcement. I wonder if law enforcement, it kind of forced law enforcement's hand to release this information. I kind of think that might have been the case even. Is that you got Dog, the bounty hunter, coming in, and, you know, the public's been waiting. Obviously, the family's been waiting. It almost kind of makes me wonder if it kind of forced the sheriff's hand to kind of put out a statement saying, hey, I think we've got the guy. We've narrowed it down to this guy. Which looks like, you know, JLR and Blowhorn Betty were kind of on that... on the same track early on anyway. So yeah, I'm going to close that out. But interesting, yeah, so this is Moab. It's just a tiny little town, and it's just crazy because you have, just if you guys were wondering, this is where Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito were pulled over. They're, actually, I think it's like right here. Yeah, right here. So they were pulled over, yeah, I think it was like right here. It's pulled off right into Arch, just as you're going to go into Arches. So this is where the famous body cam footage was taken. It was right here. And that was on August 11th. Yeah, August 11th. And then they stayed at, and this is a place that I was going to stay at one time, is the hotel. I think it's up here. So, actually it's down more. But, so yeah, they stayed at, Brian Laundrie stayed in the motel, and then she stayed in the van apparently. And then that's how the whole Laundrie and him being a serial killer kind of came about, is because they were both obviously in town. Oh, and then of course the fight took place in front of the Moab, the co-op Moonflower, where one of the girls worked. So that's kind of where the whole theory behind Brian Laundrie being a serial killer. So as you can see, this is where she was pulled over, and then these two girls were just murdered right here a few days later. So you can see why so many people were on the Brian Laundrie train of him being a serial killer, because I mean it was just right there, 41 minutes away. But apparently they started heading up north just before the girls, I believe, were murdered. So, because they started heading up this way here to, where is it? Oh, Wyoming. Yeah, wait, yeah, the Brigaton National Forest. So, yeah, they started heading up this way here. And so, yeah, they had a long way to go. So, as you can see, Moab's kind of like right here. For the Gabby Petito, they headed probably back up this way, back into Yellowstone, or close to Yellowstone. But so anyway, good news for those just turned in. Looks like Adam. I can't pronounce the last name. I'll show him one more time. But I am not even going to try to pronounce that last name. That is a mouthful. Oh, they don't have a picture of him on this one. There he is. But yeah, that's the guy apparently. So what Snell said is he took his life on the 18th is what he said. But I cannot fully confirm that. I'll have to research that some more and look into where he lived. They haven't really released a lot that I've seen yet, but I'll do some more research and probably put out just a short video on just kind of his whereabouts and where he's from. Wait. This is Adam, the fourth Moab murder. The guy found dead from self-inflicted gunshot wound really close by to where Gabby was found. No, Gabby was found. Wait, I just showed you, Tina. Gabby was found up in Wyoming. These girls were found in Moab. Way, like, 2 different states. Thank you, Carrie. Hello, Chris. You don't owe an explanation, Chris. It's your idea, your channel, your choice. You can't please everyone. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get upset, but I mean to threaten to leave because I'm sending money to something you don't approve or something that just, and I can't like just sit here and stare at the chat all day. I have to like present my show, so I can't read everything that everybody's saying at all times. But I caught that last comment. I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, anyway, it just, like I said, I've tried to do so much with this channel and get back. It just, that kind of, I don't know, that kind of hurt, to be honest. Anyway. So, he's only been in Utah for a few months. Are you talking about Adam, Sunshine? Any DNA from the crime scene they could match with this guy? Yeah, I haven't heard anything about DNA. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Like I said, I just wanted to go live and present this, but we're definitely going to look at, pull up a background check on him and see what we can find, all the details. But it's kind of getting late. I just wanted to do a quick little show just to do an update. But for the shows, for the projects that are coming up, I am going to be doing the control test with the Delphi project. So I'm going to be doing a few more of... Let's see if I can pull up a better one. Let me pull up this other one real quick. I think I showed you guys this yesterday. I've been getting some new material. So I've been trying to get like a scarf to replicate this. Because I think this is either a scarf or maybe some string. So yeah, that's going to be upcoming. I'm going to do a third test with that. And some more items that could match BG and just kind of get an idea of what you could be wearing. And then, of course, Skinwalker Ranch this weekend. Not sure exactly what day we're going to go, but this weekend we're definitely going to go for that. So, but yeah, I will do a follow-up video for the update on this for sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Totally. Yeah, because, then independent, that means now I've got to go check, I got to do my own research on this guy, or whoever. I mean, like I said, that's a lot of work. And the Humane Society has been around forever and well known. So I know it's going, and I've seen it. Like, the building that we have, thank you, I want to say Rachel. Is it Rachel? Rachel Lynn? Rachel Ann? Thanks for bringing us all the latest news and working hard. Thank you, Rachel Ann. But yeah, I've seen, like I said, the center we have here in Utah, the Humane Society, they built on to their place. So it's bigger. They can hold more animals. They have like a new facility, where they, like doctors, and so they can help the animals when they're sick. It goes to great. I mean, that's where people think when they have strays or stuff, they go there. They'll usually end up at one of these places. So that's why I send that money there, because they need it. They need that help. And like I said, I can only help out so many people. But to come on here and like freak out, and then I'm not saying she freaked out or they freaked out, but what the comment was, in my opinion, kind of inappropriate. So, anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll do a follow-up video and when we learn a little more about this guy. So,